All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music, real issues, real life, real disappointments, and doing it, of course, in real time for real people just like you and just like me. So it's always sad when you lose somebody from Patreon. I expect the people are going to leave. Some new people are going to come along. There are people that do not like what I'm talking about now. They want me to stick to music. And what's ironic is typically I'm talking about people who I wish would just stick to music because they're not sticking to music. They think they're medical professionals or they think they're politicians in some cases. And quite honestly, folks, my family, my wife, my children, just my own conscience is actually more important than any musician or any music related thing I could talk about. They're not the topic, but the importance of what's happening, the gravity of life in this situation has really gotten to me, to the point where each and every day I wake up and I'm expecting the world to go back to normal, and my fellow man, my fellow woman on the outside, they're behaving as though this is going to be a permanent thing. And I think I said this last year when I first started to branch out into this a little bit. And then all the restrictions came down and the concert industry literally shut down. Now the concert industry is kind of back up and running to some degree. But, every time I read a story, somebody from a band has contracted the thing and they're going to cancel dates, even though they've gone out and they've done what the little doctor told them to do. And everybody is saying, yes, I'm obeying, I'm doing this because I think it's best for me, which is fine. I don't think it's best for you, but you do you and I'll do me. And I'm seeing a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of contradictions, things that don't add up, like people who are mad at people who don't do the thing, even though they've done the thing. And that's supposed to protect them, right? It's supposed to give them protection. So why are you angry, bro? I see these people all the time. Why are you so angry? Well, you need to join me and be miserable with me. No, sorry, not going to take the risk. God gave me this body. I'm thinking that if it doesn't work, then what? It's God's fault, right? And you're going to blame God because the design is flawed and man has developed things. And you'll say, well, God gives men and women the ability to do. Not if it goes against the design, not if it's completely outside the realm of your own innate ability to do something or handle something. So it's hard for me really to understand and relate to people who think this way, but there are some really nice people that come along. They're patrons on the channel. This one particular person who I am not going to say their name, obviously, but they were very chatty, very generous too with their contributions to the channel. By the way, if you'd like to make up for the loss of this person, I will use it as a fundraising opportunity. You can give $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever you want to give to Patreon. If you think this content is important and more important than what Steve Perry had for dinner, okay? And I love Steve Perry, but I really don't care about what he had for dinner. As much as his natural gray hair looks interesting, it's, believe it or not, I could have done a video, Steve Perry unveils his natural gray hair, and who knows, maybe I would have got 1 million views on the video. I don't know. I mentioned it, so there you go, in case you didn't know that. But if you'd like to make up for the shortfall, which is starting to happen, you can go over to Patreon, hit the subscribe button. That's helpful, obviously. And then if you want to donate to Patreon, there's a way to do that. on the banner portion of the channel. Some people call that the header. And you go up there, you click on the button and donate what you can. I've also uploaded a new musical perk today, and I didn't do that for the point of this video. I did. Here's why I did that, because there are times where I want to go listen to music. When I get depressing news, when I get a message like I got today, and then this person, by the way, showed me all of their giving. It's like a tithing record. They showed me that. And they said that they were tired of my rants, R-A-N-T-S, my rants. And I get it. I get it. I'm actually kind of tired of my rants too. I wish that this wasn't happening. I wish that I could talk about just Steve Perry's, new hairdo, right? Or some other sort of perfunctory thing that didn't have all that import, wasn't that meaningful. Just, it's like, hey, here's a hobby. I'll go, listen to Dave, and Dave's going to tell me about so-and-so today. And that's interesting to me. I can listen to this on my way to work and be informed about the music business or new albums coming out. And yeah, there are new albums coming out, and I've tried that tact, and nobody seems to care about the new music part of things. And I've had discussions about that. Me and my friend Brian Cole last week had a pretty meaningful discussion on that, and I've done several videos, and I do talk about music still. It's just that when the world's going to hell, it's kind of hard, not to notice and to not say anything about it. I don't claim to be Joe Rogan here. I'm just some guy who from time to time has a strong opinion. And I remember early on when I started doing this channel, I got some advice from another YouTuber to basically just stay the course. And he has a completely different approach. He does these very informative, happy videos, and he's very consistent about what he does. He doesn't talk music, although he did kind of talk a little bit about Steve Perry and maybe one or two other musicians, but he focuses on more or less the television industry, old TV shows, old TV stars, and so forth. And he does such a good job with it. He's very professional. He's got a very professional setup. But he and I had some conversations, and we're different, but he was very encouraging. And I think he even did a video in support of me, which I thought was really going out of your way to stick up for somebody who stylistically you're not at all very much like. But I think he appreciated my perspective, and I think that's important. But we are so polarized now that, look, I do the same thing. And I'll be this person obviously dropping me and so forth. I get that because I've done it to television, right? To news stations I used to watch every morning. I can't take it. I can't take the negativity. I can't take the fear. I can't take being made out to be like a second-class citizen, because I don't believe the narrative that they're putting out every day. I don't like that. I don't need that in my life. So if somebody is over here and they're expecting to hear what, Cheap Trick is doing tomorrow, which is fine. They're a great band. I love them. But, unless it's breaking information, like they're, revamping their lineup, or they're, I don't know, they're going to go and they're putting out a new album, and the album is on the music charts right now. That would be a trip. That would be a trick. That would be a very expensive trick, not a cheap trick. But the point being is that, is there stuff to talk about in the music world? Yeah, and I go through it every day, and I'm kind of disappointed. I almost have to make up my own videos, like if a band is MIA for some reason, and I have to dig down and find out why they're MIA, and nobody's talking about it. That's kind of my own thing. And I've done that on many different occasions. But I get it. You don't like what I'm saying. You don't like the ranting. I tend see, but then I get people who send me messages every single day, and I'm not making this up. And they'll say, and I get almost like embarrassed. They're like, wow, man, that rant was fantastic. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. But I took a few psychology classes in college, and negative is always stronger than positive. When someone says, I just get tired of your ranting, and it was polite, it wasn't mean spirited. I thought the tithing record was a little much, but I'm not sure what that was all about. I've always been very thankful when people donate, and if they donate more than they're supposed to, I'm shocked. Usually, I'm like, $1 a month is all I'm asking. I always say if a third of the subscribers gave $1 a month, I wouldn't be bothering anybody. In fact, who knows? Maybe you guys could tell me what to do, right? And I'm not saying that to be mean, but you could tell me, hey, do content about this. If that's how much support you got, then I would certainly be, a little bit more attentive to that. But I'm really trying to do videos from the heart. And, maybe I could do some videos from the heart and some videos based on what patrons or subscribers are wanting. Obviously, if the subscriber count continues to climb, that's probably a good sign that more people are hearing these videos, watching them, liking them, or maybe disliking them, and just getting angry, but wanting to watch, like, again, rubbernecking to see the car wreck and Dave's the car wreck. And I don't watch channels like that, though. Like I said, the morning news was the closest because, throwing stuff at the TV, and my wife is trying to calm me down. I'm drinking my coffee and I'm yelling because there's so much misinformation. Or let me put it this way, there's so much omitted information right now across pretty much all the mainstream news mediums, social media. And if you say something, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, they'll come along and they'll fact check you. They'll put a little box in there. And it's like they're babysitting everybody. I'm sorry, I don't want to be babysat. And as far as music content, of course, when there's breaking news, when there's something to talk about, I'll be there. I'll be talking about it. But if there's music, information, or stuff that is posted as a music article, and I read through it, and it's a bunch of political mumbo jumbo supporting the establishment and the status quo and the stuff that is failing this country right now, you bet I'm going to talk about it, because my family, our future, if I ever have grandkids, whatever, it's going to be their future. I mean, we've all got to figure out who we're going to serve, as Bob Dylan once said. See how I did that? I somehow tied it into music. Bob Dylan said in a song that you're going to serve somebody. You're going to serve, who are you going to serve? And I'm not serving, master big federal government who is trying to take over every aspect of your life, including the concert industry, including the transportation industry. Those are pretty big matters. Maybe if I did it all smiley and, hey, the transportation industry is under attack and Southwest Airlines, they took a stand. That's good news. Yay. Or I like tyranny. Tyranny is fun. Let's have more of that. There's this guy called Awaken with JP, I think his name is. Pretty hysterical if you haven't seen his stuff. He does so much satire and so much sarcasm, and he does it smiling and goofy. And he wears crazy outfits and stuff when he does it. He's real buff, but he's got this long hair. And it's just a really cool channel. I enjoy it because what he's managed to do is get the information out to people. Because from what I understand, if you're theatrical when you're presenting this information, YouTube likes it because it's basically like you're doing acting or theater. So you're raising the bar, you're raising the level of quality in your videos. Not like these, you're doing, great editing. You might have a few people in the video, basically you're doing real acting, which I think is very impressive. So in any event, I wanted to just say that I do appreciate everybody who has come on board, the people who've been here, maybe the people who are getting a little irritated with me. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to you guys, because a couple of years ago, I used to say that these musicians should just shut up and do their job, right? Sorry. Getting something in my throat. Hopefully I'm not going to get sick. So I'm hoping that the musicians will go back to just playing music and not being so medical or political. But I don't see that happening. It seems like the volume is being turned up. Now, you can ignore all this stuff, but this stuff to me just jumps off the page. And I'm like, what are they doing telling me what to do? I mean, that's not what I'm looking for here. I wanted to see music information, music news. So there's so much of that, and it's embedded into articles that are about other things. It's kind of like the way Congress writes a bill these days. They write a bill and they say it's an infrastructure bill. Then you look at it and it's not an infrastructure bill. It's just a big giveaway to all their buddies in various parts of the country. And nobody reads the bill because it's impossible to read. And once the bill is passed, the money never goes to the people who actually need it. So again, it's like reading an article and you're like, okay, I thought this article was about a concert last night, but they're telling me it's about protocols and mandates and all this other stuff. And then there's an argument in there, and then they're calling people like me names in the article. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I should just ignore all this stuff, right? But anyway, yeah, I'm going to probably miss this person too, because they were really nice. I think at one point they had asked me if they could hang out. We could, visit or something at one point, wherever they live. I forget where that was, but it was almost like, hey, if you're ever in this area, come by and hang out. I don't travel very much, especially these days, unless it's by car. Yeah, you're not getting me up in a plane right now. No, siree, Bob. So thanks for everybody who's here, and God bless everyone. You don't have to agree with me. You don't even have to watch these videos if you don't like it. But for those of you who are here because of this coverage, again, I have to follow my heart, and this is where I'm going with this stuff. So buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride for a while.